Hello everyone, my name is Dessy Angraini and my student number is 056. In this video, I would like to send my journal article review regarding literature. So here's the article description part. The title is reading about solidarity and collective action, social minds in radical fantasy fiction. The author is Justina Dessy, and here is her background. She is an associate professor in Institute of English Studies from 2003 until now, and she is also director of Institute of English Studies from 2013 until now. The name of the journal is Children's Literature and Education, and the date published is 23 June 2020. The pages is 144 until 159. The volume is 51 and the issue is 2. The keywords are radical fantasy, social minds, intergenerational solidarity, narratives of community. The introduction is, this article employs the theory of social minds proposed by Ellen Palmer in Social Minds in the novel 2010 to argue for the emergence of a group-based thinking, feeling, and acting focused on reforming the status quo using David Ripley's Agora trilogy from 2009 until 2013 as an example of radical fantasy. The object discussed in this article discussed about radical or material fantasy as a subgenre of fantasy literature for young readers by connecting social minds in radical fantasy fiction. The methods used are deductive and descriptive research methods regarding social minds in the novel. The theory needed is, this article discussed about radical or material fantasy as a subgenre of fantasy literature for young readers by connecting social minds in radical fantasy fiction. So here is the critics. First is the article section only use subsections. It should be separated such as introduction, content, and discussion to be organized. And the language used is scientific, but it is better to include more sources than opinions because there are just a little sources that author used in this article. And the top one, the first is, how do the present and future respond because the future will be made from children to adults according to their vision to fight against political, racial, and economic injustice. And the second is the potential of radical fantasy to influence the reader from the representation of the emergence of thinking, feeling, and acting based groups that aim to reform the oppressive status quo. And the conclusion is, this article employs the theory of social minds proposed by Ellen Palmer in his book Social Minds in the novel 2010 by discussing the subsections which are divided into a radical subgenre of fantasy, social minds in fiction, social minds in radical fantasy fiction, and conclusion. The author used deductive and descriptive research methods in this article. And the author should separate the article section into introduction, content, and discussion to be organized. The future research can be developed into a comparison of child and adult vision to fight against political, racial, and economic injustice, and how much influence the potential of radical fantasy has to influence the reader. So that's all of my presentation. Thank you for watching.